If you've been gardening for a while, you already know the golden rule everyone repeats. Add more compost. Compost has become the cure-all for every soil problem. Poor drainage? Add compost. Weak plants? Add compost. Clay soil? Add compost. But today, I want to stop you right there. Because if you're using compost the way most gardeners do, you might be wasting time, money, and organic matter without truly fixing your soil. As gardeners, we crave fertile, fluffy, biologically alive soil, and compost helps. But there's a soil-saving technique that can deliver far more dramatic, long-lasting results with less effort. It's called sheet mulching, and once you understand its power, you'll never look at bare soil or your compost pile the same way again. This is Soil Stories, and today I want to bring you straight into my garden, walk you through real results, and share the transformation that made me rethink everything I thought I knew about compost. Let's get something straight. I love compost. You love compost. We all love compost. It's black gold for a reason. But the problem isn't compost itself. It's the way we often apply it. Too many gardeners do the same thing year after year. Dump compost on top of the soil, mix it in, plant, and, well, just hope for the best. But what we often end up doing is feeding the soil without actually fixing the system beneath it. Compost gives nutrients, but it doesn't rebuild structure fast. It doesn't stop weeds. It doesn't protect your topsoil from sun, wind, and erosion. And unless your soil ecosystem is thriving, most of that compost simply disappears, burned off into the air, or washed out by rain. I figured this out the hard way. Even after adding wheelbarrow after wheelbarrow of compost, the soil still dried out too fast. Weeds still dominated, and organic matter vanished by the end of the season. That's when I realized. Before adding compost, the soil needs protection, like a living skin, and that's where sheet mulching changes everything. Imagine giving your soil a blanket, thick, nourishing, protective. That's sheet mulching. It's the simplest, most natural way to build soil fast, and it works with nature instead of against it. Sheet mulching is inspired by how forests build rich soil without a gardener in sight. Leaves fall, branches drop, organisms break everything down slowly at the surface. Soil deepens, softens, darkens, and becomes nearly self-fertile. When we sheet mulch, we recreate that environment, and here's the magic. Sheet mulching builds soil from the top down, exactly how nature does it. Instead of mixing compost into hard ground, we let worms, microbes, fungi, and time do the work for us, and the transformation is nothing short of stunning. The first layer of a sheet mulch system is something you probably already have lying around: cardboard thick paper bags or craft paper. These materials create a biodegradable barrier that, really sets the stage for everything else. This barrier blocks sunlight from reaching weeds, prevents old grass or roots from regrowing, and as moisture collects, it softens the soil beneath. Pretty handy, right? But here's what makes this layer truly powerful. Worms love cardboard. They chew through it like it's chocolate cake, and as they pull the fibers downward, they're aerating, loosening, and enriching the soil without you lifting a shovel. Pretty amazing, honestly. This is why I tell gardeners, stop tilling, stop double digging, stop breaking your back, just let the soil life work for you. Now comes the heart of the transformation. This layer can be, well, just about anything organic: dry leaves, grass clippings, straw, used garden trimmings, wood chips, old mulch, even half-finished compost. Notice I didn't say finished compost. That's intentional. Finished compost breaks down quickly and disappears fast, but rough organic matter, leaves, sticks, straw, breaks down slowly, creating long-term soil structure. It feeds fungi, not just bacteria. It builds humus. It improves moisture retention better than almost anything you could buy. Spread these materials thick, and don't be shy about it. A good sheet mulch layer can be 10 to 20 centimeters deep. In my own beds, I go even thicker because I want maximum protection and long-term soil building. Within weeks, you'll start seeing life. You'll find worms you never knew you had, mushrooms popping up like tiny soil helpers, and dark, crumbly soil forming beneath the layer. Every time I lift a section of mulch, it feels like opening a treasure chest. The transformation still amazes me. Here's where compost finally comes in, because after the cardboard layer and the rough mulch layer do their job, then you add compost, not as the foundation but as the planting interface. This changes everything. Instead of compost being swallowed by hard soil, it becomes a nutrient-rich cushion directly under your plants. It stays moist longer, breaks down slower, and integrates naturally as roots and organisms mingle with it. This is how sheet mulching makes your compost go further, last longer, and produce healthier plants with less work. After one season of sheet mulching, my soil became almost unrecognizable. It went from compacted and lifeless to soft enough to dig with my hands, moist hours longer after watering, dark and crumbly with visible fungal threads, rich in worms and beneficial bugs, almost weed-free. Seedlings took off faster, perennials rooted more deeply, and pests seemed to bother my plants less. Even during dry spells, the beds stayed moist and cool beneath the mulch. I realized that compost alone could never have done this, but compost combined with sheet mulching, that's when the soil truly wakes up. One surprising benefit I didn't expect: I started using less compost than ever before. Before adopting sheet mulching, I would add compost multiple times per year just to keep the soil from turning dusty and lifeless. After sheet mulching, I only needed a light top-up, mostly for new plantings. The mulch layer, it protects the compost from burning off, keeps the soil cool, slows down. Nutrient leaching prevents erosion and, well, it feeds microbes continuously. In other words, the mulch becomes the engine, while compost is the fuel. You need fuel, sure, but far less than you might think. One of the most rewarding parts of sheet mulching is knowing that every season, honestly, improves the next. Unlike quick fixes that just fade away, sheet mulching actually builds long-term soil health. Over time, the soil develops layers of rich organic matter, sort of like how a forest floor works. Your garden becomes more resilient, less dependent on fertilizers and, easier to manage with each passing year. As gardeners, we're not just growing plants, we're growing soil, and every time you sheet mulch, you're really investing in the future of your garden's ecosystem. If you want to try sheet mulching for the first time, start small. Choose one raised bed, one corner of your garden, or even just one planting hole for a fruit tree. The results will speak for themselves, and honestly, once you see the transformation, you'll want to sheet mulch everything. Remember, stop using compost until you give your soil the protection it really deserves. Compost works best when the soil is ready to receive it, and sheet mulching, well, that creates the perfect environment for that magic to happen. If you love this soil story, don't forget to subscribe to Soil Stories, give the video a thumbs up, and hey, share it with another gardener who's pouring compost onto the ground and wondering why the soil still isn't improving. Let's build healthier soil, one layer at a time.